The Discourse is crazy. The Y situation has just got worse. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. As you can see, this time we're not on Subnautica or on Silksong or anything. This time is gonna be a rant video. I'll probably have something like, I don't know, gameplay in the background, but it's not the focus. So, before we begin, I first want to say that this video is being done in a weird way because it's not scripted, so it's kind of freeform, but also I kind of wanna give it some sort of coherent structure. So it's basically I'm recording many clips and then actually assembling them in a way that makes sense. And in fact, this is a clip that I'm recording after I did the main part of the video. So yeah, this is kind of the second pass. And this is because this video is gonna be a fact that kind of pisses me off, which is that here on the internet, well, there's discourse, drama and situations every 5 minutes, and it's like 90% of the time completely pointless. So, what happened? Well, basically, Monday, I was watching some YouTube videos late at night, when suddenly a video gets recommended to me. A video about mixtape. Now, if you know anything about the gaming scene and such, and if you're keeping up, you've probably heard something about mixtape, and the fact it has generated some discourse and drama and such. Well, what happened? Basically, the critics highly praised this game, and the gamers pretty much destroyed it. At least that's what some of these channels say. And yes, I didn't know at the time, so I just decided to watch that video. And for the first half, it actually made some pretty good points about why the game was boring and why it didn't deserve a 10 out of 10, which is IGN's vote. But halfway through the video, lo and behold, they somehow managed to bring into play dumbass comparisons with other games which had nothing to do with mixtape, and from there somehow how you cannot say anything anymore, and woke and DI and all of that stuff. So I basically finished watching the video, and then I opened the channel, the tab, and in yet another tab, the home page. Well, what happened when I opened the home page? I got recommended more bit about mixtape, which is, yes, YouTube algorithm 101. What's surprising about it, you'll ask? Nothing. That's the problem, is that I already knew exactly what was gonna happen, and I continued. I mean, this is kind of my fault, because, I mean, what do you expect from, the YouTube gaming commentary scene? But, I mean, I thought that maybe someone else could have been, more capable of explaining the game's shortcomings, while also not spouting hateful nonsense about I don't know now, woke DI and uglification of women, which is something that I noticed many of these creators do lately, which is not only based on subjective tastes, but, and so I mean you can't just claim that objectively. And I mean, I have literally seen videos of people claiming that Nemesis from Hades 2 is objectively unattractive. And I mean, do you even have eyes? I guess if you don't like her personally, but yeah. And yeah, secondly, it doesn't even have anything to do with mixtape. And yes, I've watched videos from I think at least 5 different channels, but all of them were the same stupid shit that, well, at the beginning complained about the game's shortcomings and then completely blew it up with some absolute bullshit take. But I also made the stupid idea of, like stupid decision of opening all of the channels in other tabs. So basically, like not just most of these, but all of these channels were the not just the YouTube commentary with clickbait titles type of channel. No, there are very specific subcategory of this. The Gamer TM YouTube commentary channels with clickbait titles. And that's how I got trapped for like 3 days watching this shit and getting angry about it till I decided to actually make a video about it. If you're not familiar with the type of channel I'm talking about, well, these are the, like, pretty much follow this formula. Well, first you find something to get angry about, like a game to say, oh, that's woke and that's gonna fail. Then, if it fails, you go, hey, look, I told you. Then if it doesn't fail, you just move the goalpost to another game and say, oh wait, that's a woke game. That was the first one wasn't. That's actually anti-woke. So it's good, and it's actually good that it succeeded. Huh? Yeah. And basically, another thing these channels tend to do is to lash out against the industry without actually supporting any indie game, like in any way whatsoever, like without making many videos about them. Like out of all these channels, I've seen that only a couple of them like made videos about Silksong when it released. So, and that's just like one of the most important indie games in last year. So I don't know. And they also tend to bootleg Musk. Yeah, basically it's all tactics to basically rage bait. Yeah, there's not much else to say about it. It's just rage bait all the way down. But that's not the end of it, because these channels are oftentimes the same ones that, well, bring forward the narrative of like gamers TM that are separate from normies and that should gatekeep gaming. And why though they say this is very interesting, because they like think that this has to be done to avoid contamination from woke and gender and DEI and I don't know, cancel culture and that shit like this, which basically exists like 90% of the time on the internet. So it's pretty clear that these guys are like very disconnected from reality, because those things are not happening in reality. And not only that, but I mean, in many like Western countries, things are actually pretty much going the opposite direction. Whether you like it or not, it's like another thing, but that's what's happening. So I don't know, maybe they have some kind of I don't know, some form of delusions, hallucinations. I don't know, don't ask me. But there wouldn't be Discourse if there wasn't an opposition, and so I went on Reddit. Yeah, I know, worst mistake of my life. But you see, I went on Gaming Circle Jerk, which is, I mean, I know that it's a place that at least recently it's pretty good on like the whole like having like more than 2 neurons, and like instead of screaming woke at every single thing, actually having nuance. But no, I expected too much from Reddit and from the internet in general. But yeah, what happened is that I went there and I just looked at some mixtape posts, and instead of like either criticizing the game or like asking why the critics all gave this game so much credit for like a 3 hours game. So like it's I mean it's possible it's the most beautiful thing you've ever played, but I've watched some footage and like it seems okay, sincerely. But no, what they instead said is that since the gamer TMs hated it, then they loved it. So yeah, in this case we have on one side dumbasses and on the other side dumbasses. It's stupidity all the way down. And so yes, you can't have nuanced discourse on the internet. But before you take me for one of those enlightened centrists, no, no. Those are actually the worst, because between two sides, they decide to avoid picking a side. Like, it's not like they go on their own way or something like that. No, they just lay in the middle, which is absolutely stupid. Like, in life, there are many situations in which there is like a clear, like not good side, but like someone who's clearly in like either on the right side or like clearly more in the right mind, like with better argumentations. And like even here, like even with like the whole gaming secret jerk thing I said earlier, at least they are not just making randomized connections with things they hate, which is at least something. So, where in all of this position am I? Well, I'm in the actual secret third option. Enter Robgin. Robgin is an Italian YouTuber which makes some pretty neat videos, I've got to say. Like, I don't follow him that much, but his video on mixtape is really good. And to sum it up really quickly, the reason why the critic score is high, the audience score is so low, is because the audience score was like pretty much bombed. The critic score has a clear conflict of interest. And so what should we pick as our meter of judgment? Well, what I at least took from his like whole thing is the Steam score, because as you may know, Steam doesn't have like a vote. It's just like if you like the game or if you dislike the game, like if you would like advise others to play it or not. And that's actually a pretty solid system. So, what can we say about this? If not the fact that nuance can exist in fact, and like even on YouTube and in the internet in general, it's just very rare. So yes, this pretty much settles it with this like mixtape situation, because it's simply not a situation, it's just so fucking simple. There's nothing to get angry about, like, oh my god. And like, yes, it's really simple actually, like I just explained. But it wasn't over for me, because I kept scrolling in these shitty channels, even more spiraling down ever more, yes. And as I kept going, these channels full of hateful shit and clickbaity titles and like absolutely horrid content, I started to have a realization. Maybe, just maybe, the problem is not just these channels or the discourse with gaming circle jerk and everything, and maybe the lack of nuance we find on here is something larger. And I mean, I realize this is actually a pretty mild take, that people on the internet are stupid. Yes, but goddammit, they're stupid. Enter glitch. Well, you probably know already Glitch. They are a studio which supports indie animation, and like I'm actually quite a fan of some of their works. I'm watching the Amazing Digital Circus right now, but what does this have anything to do with the rest? Well, the thing is drama again. Glitch is a gigantic drama catalyst. Well, then why is that? Well, I think because like Glitch's stuff is mainly watched by like a younger audience, and fandoms with the younger audience like tend to be like more keen on going like full in the drama direction once every 3 days. And I mean, I'm speaking from experience here because like I also was young and on the internet, and I also did get like into pointless arguments when I was, I don't know, 13 or something. But the problem is like not the fact that these arguments exist and everything, or like, I mean, I'm actually like getting into an internet argument right now. Just instead of being against something particular, I'm arguing against arguing, which is kind of stupid again, but hey, that's how it works. The point is that it gets tiring. Because yes, it gets tiring. Like, it's a complete waste of time and energy. Like, why should I be like getting angry about this? Like, why should anybody get angry about this shit? Like mixtape or stuff like this, or and responses and stuff, when there is bigger problems, bigger fish to fry, and also better ways to spend our time if we don't want to think about the big problems. So if there's anything you gotta take away from this video is don't feed the trolls. Just let that corner of the internet rot away in peace. And yes, it's not gonna die probably on its own, but if you interact with it, it's just gonna get more and more traction. So yes, this is it then. This was my first commentary / rant video, and maybe it will be my last one, like if I am coherent. But unlikely for you, I'm not very coherent and like not even very constant. So you never know, like just let me know if you wanna see more of this or not. But anyway, I don't know if I'm ever gonna talk about anything in like too specifically. Like again, I took Mixtape and Glitch as examples, but not not as like direct proof of anything. Like they weren't about themselves. It was about the whole Discourse thing. So yes, once again, sometimes it's just better not to engage with Discourse, like not with some Discourse in general about petty things. And yes, now this once again is all. This was AC Not a Name, and I'm gonna see you next time with, I don't know when this video will come out, but probably Subnautica or something like that. So yeah, now excuse me, but I have to return to my gaming discourse videos to rot my brain to.